Hey everyone, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, September the 27th, 2011. This is Jennifer. So last week I took my baby lock in for servicing because I was having a couple of weird issues. Nothing major, it ended up being a $6 part and everything's fine now. But while my baby lock was getting serviced, I pulled out my Singer 301A. And for those of you that don't know, a Singer 301A is a very basic Singer machine, all metal parts. You can sew through anything, but it only does one stitch. It's forward, backward, straight, and that's it. You can buy all kinds of accessories that will make it do other things, but as is, it just goes straight, which is fantastic for piecing, and it stitches really fast, really nice and straight. It never misses. It's a great machine. So I did a lot of piecing. I finished 3 quilt tops. All of them were in some state of doneness, but I got all 3 done. So as you can see behind me, I finished the first Stars for Linus quilt top. These were all the brights with the light backgrounds that I had, and I had 12 of them. So those all went together, and I think they look fantastic. I really love the way the border's working out on this, and I love how all the different stars are just so wonky and fun and fantastic. I have another stack started that is darker backgrounds or darker borders or solid borders, and hopefully before long I will get that one made into a quilt top as soon as I have enough. Like I said last week, this is going to be ongoing. I'm just going to keep collecting them, and as they come in, I will keep piecing tops. I will probably quilt this one myself. I don't know when. Hopefully this week. I am a little busy. There's a lot going on, as you guys might know. This week was the deadline for Harry Potter paper piecing end of days challenge. So tomorrow you will see a big post that has all of the finished Project of Doom quilt tops. And let me tell you that getting those either via email or from the Flickr group has been so fun for me. Seeing all of those finished has been so fun for me. I actually haven't finished my Project of Doom quilt top yet because, as you guys know, I've been embroidering all the blocks. And embroidery takes sitting still for a little while. I think I'm on 24. So hopefully, my goal is the end of September, so hopefully by Friday. If not, then I guess maybe the first week of October, but I'm going to get them done as quickly as I can. But like I said, I have been really busy. I've had a lot of stuff to do. I was out of town almost all weekend. I was gone all day Saturday and part of the day Sunday, and which was fun. I went to my 20th high school reunion and I got to see some old friends, which was awesome. That was actually very entertaining because one of the questions that everyone asked was, where do you live and what do you do? And Austin is easy. I live in Austin. I've lived here since 1998. And but what do you do is a harder question to answer if you don't already know me. So at the beginning of the night, I was like, I'm a quilt designer and I'm an instructor and I craft and I blog and I vlog. But at the end of the night, I was telling people I was a textile artist because it was just easier. It required much less explanation, and it was fun. And I did get a really interesting response from a lot of people. I had several people tell me that they were not surprised that I was an artist. I had a couple people very interested in what I do now, so if you guys are watching, hello. So that was fun. It was entertaining. There are a lot of people there that I hadn't seen or even, sadly to say, thought of in 20 years. So that was good. It was a journey. So you might remember last week I showed you the orphan blocks from the Zeppelin Threads block of the month that I had. I had one from Kat and one from Pren. So what I did was I took their 2 blocks, and they were a slightly different size, so I just I trimmed them up so they were the same exact size, and all I had to do was just shave a little bit off the border. And then I made these big 9 patches so that they would be the same size as the inside part of the block. And then I sashed those with, I had this cool stone fabric that Kat gave me ages ago. I've had it forever. And then I sashed the whole thing in red. And then I did this like sort of black and white ends that I put on there to make it a longer quilt. I've got this hung up sideways just so you can see it since I have a widescreen camcorder. I thought it would be easier to show it that way because when I do it this way, you lose the top and bottom. So anyway, it's sideways. So was the last quilt I had it up there sideways too, just so you could see the whole top. So I got this one pieced. I actually pieced this one the same day as I pieced the next quilt, which I want to give you a little warning. This may be the ugliest quilt I've ever made ever. I started it some time ago and wasn't really loving the fabric. It was a little packet of sample fabric that I got from Linus, and I made some blocks, and I was like, I don't know, I was playing with the technique, and I didn't really like the colors, and I put them aside and was like, oh, what am I going to do with this? So basically I just pulled it out, I cut out the pieces I needed to finish it, I sewed them up, I put it together, I put some fantastically floral fabric on the border, because I figured it's already not an attractive quilt, so why not just like go all the way? And the floral actually kind of pulls some of the colors, so let's hang that one up now. This just quite possibly might be the least attractive quilt that I have ever made. It kind of works together, but these are definitely not my colors, not my fabrics. You might remember I made these blocks. Actually, this was a 4-patch here, and these are the blocks that have the cool 3-dimensional centers in them. And I was just playing with that technique when I did these. But those 4 blocks were not big enough for a quilt, and I just needed to get them finished so that I could have it done. Again, this one is hanging sideways so that you can see the whole thing. So I had these fabrics on the end that I just cut patches the same size as these and put them on either end, but it still wasn't quite big enough for, especially for the colors in this. These are not little kid colors, so I wanted to make it bigger so it could be more of a teen type quilt. And I had this floral, which I'm not sure, but I think Grain Damage might have sent this to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it wasn't Grain Damage, it was Clumsy Cord. One of you guys tell me who sent me this floral. But there's a lot of pink in these patches. So I have pink in here, and there are some cherries and apples. And so I thought this might pull the pink out a little bit. It is a funky quilt top, really not to my taste. But it's done, and it's well made. And it's really busy. It has a lot to look at. It's probably a fairly happy quilt, so hopefully once it's quilted and donated, someone will get a lot of years of love out of it, even though it's not 100% my favorite. It is done, and that makes me happy. I did get a few other things done as well. I finally pieced the portal guy, and he looks like this. He goes with the aperture symbol. This pattern is free on Fandom and Stitches under games, comics and games, I think. You'd think I would know this after I spent most of Friday working on Fandom and Stitches. I have been moving all the files on Fandom and Stitches, and I've got all the pages except Harry Potter done. Harry Potter is about maybe 20% done. That is definitely our biggest page. But to give you an idea of where I am right now, I've already moved over 200 files and relinked over 200 files. So it's a little tedious and time consuming. I literally worked from 7 a.m. on Friday to like 4 moving files and relinking everything and making sure it worked. So I will get Harry Potter done. It may not be this week, but that will be done as quickly as possible. My goal is to get everything working 100% as best as it can before There and Back Again starts, which is happening next week. So you guys be excited. There and Back Again is coming. I'm very stoked about this. The first pattern is fantastic, like I told you last week, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So, and something I haven't mentioned is we are going to have fabulous prizes. So, so Fandom and Stitches is moving forward. No more Google Docs for us. Pain in the behind. We're not doing that anymore. It's been just too much hassle, too much effort. And seriously, they've been having this problem since like 2009. And I would like to point out that Google made a car that can drive thousands of miles by itself without wrecking. I mean, literally, like, the car drives itself. But they can't make Google Docs work. I think there's a problem there. So anyway, get on that, Google. I have another project coming up which required me to make a whole new pattern, and this pattern will not be on my website anytime soon. It is specifically for this project. I can show it to you, but the project hasn't been announced yet, so I'm not going to tell you what it's for yet, and as soon as I can tell you what it's for, I will. It is, as you can see, a tree. And this was inspired by an evening when I was sitting in the backyard in our plastic lawn chairs looking up at our live oak trees with my husband. It was supposed to rain that day, and we were out there waiting for it, and it never rained. So the name of this is actually Waiting for Rain. It never rained, but there you go. I've done it in a couple different colors just to show how different fabrics can change the way it looks. This was the first one that I did. This was the second one that I did, and this one's more of like a sunset. I really love this fabric. I have a stash of orange fabrics that make me think of fire and phoenix feathers and things like that because Harry Potter paper piecing. And this was in my fire collection. I think I have used this in a couple of blocks before, but not anymore because it's all gone now. So this was number 2, and I used a wood grain for the tree. I love the way this tree came out because I had this very leafy looking fabric here, and I had this wood grain, which I love the way the wood grain came out, and this is grass. And the last one, again, is totally different, and this one is totally scrappy. And so I had some wildflower fabric. These are all different browns. And then I had all these different leaf fabrics. So I had ferns and little leaves and clovers, and those were all different leaf fabrics. And then I used a dark background. When I went to my reunion over the weekend, I stayed with a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, and I made her a little gift, and I wanted to show it to you guys. And it's very personalized. It's something that that she gets, and it was intended especially for her. So I will show you that now. So I let you guys know that I got 2 quilt tops for Linus, literally like right before the last meeting. And I've already gotten one of those back from the quilter, and my friend Mars quilted this. This one was made by Joanne from Louisiana, so it does not have a binding on it yet, but it is quilted, so I wanted to show you this. And you saw this last week. Can't really hang this on my design wall, it's too heavy, it would fall off. But you can see that it's all quilted, and it has this pretty floral on the back. And then I have this green for the binding, so I will get this bound and turned in ASAP. Once it's bound, I'll get a photo and I'll put it on my blog because that's what I do. So thankfully, I think that's it for this week. Right now I'm at 20 minutes of video, but I will get to edit a lot of things out where I was moving stuff around and pulling stuff off the design wall. So hopefully you will not be watching me talk for 20 minutes. I hope you guys have a great week. Don't forget, There and Back Again starts next week. Have a look at Harry Potter paper piecing tomorrow because you will get to see all the awesome Project of Doom quilt tops in one place, which is totally exciting. That is going to be fantastic, and I am really excited to see them all in one place. I have been seeing them one at a time, but seeing them all together is going to be amazing. Look out for some announcements coming. I don't know when. I'm waiting for the thumbs up so I can make a couple of announcements. So as soon as I have that, I will let you guys know. Go to Fandom and Stitches and download patterns to your heart's content. Everything except Harry Potter. There is a huge list of all the patterns that have been updated. And I think I'm going to go ahead and leave that list intact and add to it as after this is done and after everything's updated, I will continue to add to it, and we will just use it as a text directory because it'll make it easier to search for patterns, I think. The easier it is to find stuff on that website, the happier I will be because all of my work is completely pointless if nobody can find the patterns. I have a cat. Okay, so I hope this all made sense because I've had to stop about 10 times and let cats in and out. I will see you guys next week. Have a fantastic week. Bye.